Yo, what's up, YouTube? Good Sunday. This is your boy, freaking King of Hearts here, coming at you for all y'all lovers out there. People probably think, why I pick the name King of Hearts? Hold on, let me get y'all some light. There we go. Why I picked that name, King of Hearts. There's obviously reason behind it. It's all about my last name and family man and stuff like that. But yeah, but I thought I'd come at you guys and girls today with a little message, or I guess to talk about why I picked Swift. As you probably see in the subscription, title there, why I picked Swift. Swift gets so much bad freaking press, man. They get so much just talking down about the company, talking about kind of how, I guess, they have, a lot of accidents. Swift just gives out CDLs. The company is just terrible, man. The company is a mega carrier and the biggest for a reason. Anything, when you get to the top, obviously people start kind of chipping at your ankles, man, and start like bad mouthing you. And I get it, everybody have their opinion about all companies. So the way I look at it is that and this is how I feel. When you get into trucking is a industry like most other industries that hopefully you do your research on why you want to go with that company. Hopefully you're not just looking and being like, oh man, I just want to get in trucking. Let me just go pick a company out and figure it all out. That's probably not the best choice. I think, yeah, getting out here and getting started and being like, hey, instead of sitting at home and just researching and looking, yeah, you gotta eventually make a choice and go for it. But I feel like, with Swift, I'm gonna tell you first my reasons, I guess, and then we can talk a little about other things. But when I looked up Swift, I looked up a lot of other companies. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of other companies, in a sense of my area and what I wanted to do. And Swift appealed to me right off the bat because, once again, it is the biggest company. When you're starting off in the industry, being with the biggest company is always not the bad thing, because of the fact that they became big for a reason. You're going to be taught some good things, you're going to be taught some bad things. But for some reason, Swift has continued to always be successful because they only got bigger and bigger. They just merged, or you can say brought night. However you want to word it, you know how it is. They don't want to actually say what they did, but we know what happened at the end of the day. Swift swallowed up another company like they've been doing because you become that big, and that's what happened in any industry. Any type of industry, you see the big dogs start to take over the little ones because it's more profitable for the little ones to be like, hey, why continue doing what I'm doing and struggling or whatever it is when I can merge with this company that's huge, got so much resource, got so much money and so much capital that can only better my company, and I can end up making money at the same time. So why not do it? So it's always a smart business decision. But Swift, for me, right off the back, I'm in the West Coast. Number one, when I looked into getting the company, I just looked at the road, driving up down the interstate, and everybody always knew Swift, but really in my area, man, I'm right off the I-5. I'm in Oregon. Everybody know that. So it's rolling. Swift is up and down this highway 24/7. 24/7. There's probably, for every 6 trucks you see, if not less, there's a Swift truck. And that's something like that you start learning. I don't know trucking lanes. I didn't know all, freight lanes, stuff like that yet, but I know what I see, and that's obviously can help you out. Another thing for me was that I wanted to learn as much as possible. And I feel like some companies you go to are very straight line on what they're going to teach you. They're going to teach you exactly what they know. Some of it may be, we're going to teach you how to run over the road only. We're going to teach you how to run local only. We're going to teach you how to run dedicated only. We're going to teach you how to just run, you know, with percentages. We're going to teach you hourly. I mean, not hourly, but miles per dollars per mile, or cent per mile, however you want to break it down. We're going to teach you a certain type of freight. It's not going to be drive-in. It's going to be flatbed. It's going to be refrigerator. Whatever it is, man. Doubles, triples. It's so many options, man, that is out here in this industry. It's crazy. And I wanted somebody who was very versed, that could teach me multiple things, or allow me to teach myself multiple things. And Swift did. Swift gave me that when I did my research. It was obviously in my area. It had over the road, which was obviously the number one thing that mostly all companies have. It had dedicated, which I knew. And when they say dedicated, a lot of companies say dedicated, but you still got to research what dedicated, because dedicated means they have a dedicated account with a big company. But when they say they have dedicated, is it in your area? That's the big thing. You could be like, oh man, I'm going to go Swift and then I'm going to go dedicated. Like one of my friends I went to school with, he wanted to go dedicated Costco's. Now, Costco is based out of Sumner, Washington. He lives in the southern part of Oregon. And dedicated is supposed to be this benefit of being able to where you're able to be home a little bit more than over the road. You're able to be home maybe once or twice a week, whatever it is. But if it's in your area. And the reason you're able to be home more is because every load goes to that DC. You continue to go back to the same distribution center to be able to drop. Like right now, I'm just saying, I'm in Oregon and I'm dropping where I live at. I live about 20 to 25 minutes away from the Target distribution center. So when I come back here, like tonight, and shut down, I can go home tonight and then come back tomorrow at 10 o'clock, get a load and be out for a day or two, and then come back. I'm always going to come back to this DC, in any load I get. It doesn't make a difference where it takes me. But if you live 6 hours away from the main DC or the main terminal that you work out of, it doesn't work in your favor. It's like, oh yeah, we have dedicated, but it doesn't work for you. So another thing, and the way you can find that out is, once again, look. I knew from the start, before I even went to Phoenix, and I talked to somebody there, that Target is huge. Once again, out of all the Swift trucks, you see Target. I mean, today I drove up, man, it was so many Target trucks on the road today. And this is obviously holiday season, holiday time, because I did retail, so they're really out there. I mean, we're kicking, you know, we're doing 3,000 miles plus a week right now. I mean, they're fooling us up. And I knew that was going to happen because, once again, it's a big retailer. You may live in a big area where Walmart's right up the street from you, or Costco may be up the street from you, or whatever other dedicated account there is that's out there for any company, not just Swift, but any company. But you got to do your research. Another thing was local. Not something I wanted to do, but most companies will give you that option, but they had local available. Regional. If I just wanted to run the western states, if I just wanted to run the northern states, that was an option. So a ton of reason why I thought it was good for me. And once again, the schooling helped out. You know, I mean, paying for school wasn't a make or break. If I wanted to pay for my own school, I could have just done that. It was just a bonus. It was like, why not? You know, I'm gonna, wherever I go, I'm gonna be there for some time. So once again, why not just go to school? So I did the whole process. So another thing about it is that not only does it have different type of accounts, you have company, which I'm doing right now. You can do lease if you want to go lease. You can bring owner operator if you want to come in with your own truck and run it. Why not? It's a big company. If you don't, hey, I don't want to get my own company. I want to just work for a large company that has freight all the time. Why not, man? The freight is here. I mean, people talk about Swift, but the biggest carrier is going to have freight. Not saying the small carriers don't. Yes, the cost is going to be different, but they have a lot of freight. They're going to always have freight. You know, if Swift, sorry about that, the focus here. If Swift slows down in freight, everybody else is going to slow down in freight. That's just how it is. You know, it's not anything where, oh my God, Swift is going to be, you know, no freight here, so I better go over to this company because they got all the freight now. The biggest company is going to have it. They have drive-in, refrigerator, whatever you want to do. And you can always move around. And then teams and all the other stuff. So, a lot of positives. So once again, And I thought about, like, I hear some people on YouTube, they talk about, man, trucking jump around. You know, you jump from one trucking company, it's a starter company. Jump from one company, get some experience, you jump to another company. From that company, you jump to another company. I don't feel like that's, man, my camera keeps on going out of focus here. Maybe because of light. Hopefully this helps out. I don't feel like that's a great thing, man. Before I came into this industry, man, I was I worked in the corporate America world. You can say retail management, leadership, whatever, man. For probably about 10 to 15 years of my life. I've sat in front of a ton of people. I've hired thousands and thousands of people. Sit in front of a room of whatever and just interview people. And I can tell you from experience that somebody that jumps around from job to job, it's not always the best candidate, man. It's just not the most reliable candidate. You know, it's somebody that shows inconsistence. It's somebody that shows that they're really just chasing something that maybe we don't have, or maybe we have right now, but 6 months from now, they may go somewhere else. And in trucking, a lot of people talk about money and all this stuff. But I mean, I thought about the fact of where can I go that I want to be for some time, and then I can make a choice. So the options I feel like in trucking that you have is going to be, you know, your company. I mean, company, some people stay with it, you know. Some people move around because, like, oh, this place pays 5 more cents more, 10 more cents more, 25 more cents more. Man, just like anybody says, man, the grass may not be always greener on the other side. You really got to think about it. Is that 20 cents worth starting over? You call this a starter company, but anytime you change companies, what do you think you're doing? You're starting over. Starter company, premium company, small company, big company, whatever, man. Whenever you start over, unless you go to a company and you're the only driver they have, and you're the #1 driver, there's a long list of people ahead of you, man. You've been at Swift for maybe a year or two. That means you're a year or two of experience with Swift, and they're going to help you out. They're going to sit down and think of you, especially if you have a good record. But when you go to another company, you're starting over. They may be like, oh, well, they're paying me 10 cents more. Man, I hope that 10 cents is worth it, because you hope that you get the mileage. Because once again, you're in that whole beginning. Your loyalty has to build with them. They're not just going to bring you in and be like, man, let's throw this miles at this person, when they got 10, 20 other thousand people working for them also. Like I said, if you go to a company that's brand new, you know, a friend or whatever, owner operator, as you're driving that truck, maybe it's different, but that's how I feel. I feel like you got to stay somewhere. You got to build some loyalty, and figure it out. You know, I mean, now you can go company and you can stay in company and just do it. But you gotta really sit down here and figure out what it is you want to do, and just stick with it. Now, you have the people that want to go like lease and be like, man, I'm gonna sit down here and lease a truck. You can do that with Swift. Now, I know some people like, well, they only start you. They pay like, I think it's like $1.12 starting, $1.12. Once again, that's a big jump from 35, 40 cents a mile to $1.12. And their lease payment is actually less than some of the other companies that I hear out there. They're around, the truck payments are like $600 a month. I mean, I think a fixed cost is like $900. I mean, I hear some of these fixed company payments are like $1,300 to $1,500 a week, a fixed amount of money. And I mean, I get it. Maybe like, well, you're making, you know, a little bit more money, but I mean, that's a big payment. What happens when you don't? That's a high fixed amount. But once again, I don't know. I'm learning. I am learning. But I feel like at the end of the day, you still can do that same thing here. So, sorry, man. Sorry about that. Once again, I just look at it and say that I feel like Swift is a good company. You can sit down here, you can make money here. You can make some choices here, and you can learn this business. If you choose to go from company to company, that's obviously your choice. But understand, once again, like I said, you are starting over. I'm not sitting down here and say stay with Swift forever. You know, if you get into this industry because you want to be a lease owner operator, go to a company that you know can start you off maybe that way. Pick a company that has that plan for you already. So that way you already have that loyalty with them. You already have that built-in, you know, time with them. So that way you're not moving around. You know, if you want to be owner-op, obviously owner-op is any company. If you're just here to make as much money as possible, and you're like, man, I just want to make the most money as possible, and I don't even know where I'm going to be at in 2 to 3 years in trucking. I may be with trucking, I may not. Then yeah, pick the company, but start with that company. Or at least maybe go from a starter to, you know, I feel like just pick the right company so that you can be there for a while. Because I promise you that the more the dispatchers and the planners and the people inside that company get to know you, the better your odds are at getting consistent miles. Over the road, wherever you are, they're going to take care of you. They just are, man. That's just how it works when they look for people that are reliable. If they know that you've been there for a year and a half, 2 years, 3 years, whatever, and be like, man, this guy is always on time. He's always doing what he needs to be doing. They're always going to take care of you. Lease, owner, operator, or company, however you put yourself. But once again, you got to position yourself, and that means you have to put some time in. I don't think that Swift is a bad company. Obviously, it has its pros and its cons like every other company out there has. You just have to figure out if it's right for you. You know, it was right for me so far. It's been great. So far, it's a lot. I'm working my way on my path, my plan. You know, I'm doing everything right now the way I wanted to do it. You know, more to even come. But I'm enjoying it, man, and it's working out. You know, do I want to make more money? Yeah, everybody comes into this business to make more money. Any business you go into. But just know more money is if you chasing a certain amount of dollar, if you be like, man, that 36 cent, I want to get 41 cent. Now you get the 41 cent, I want 50 cent. Man, I'll get the 50 cent, now I want $1. I get to $1, now I want $1.50. That $1.50, now I want $2. That hunger is always going to continue. You're never going to be full, man. That number is never going to be enough for you because you're always going to want more. That's why you can't continue to just chase the dollar. It's really in the fact of figure out what you're trying to achieve and try to accomplish, and then go from there. Make a plan around it, figure it out, make sure you make a right decision from the start. So that way you come in here, man, and I'm telling you, the experience and the time that you put in and anywhere you go will excel you more than just continue to jump hoops and go everywhere. You know, like I said, you see, does Swift have accidents? Yes, but what company doesn't? Does Swift have, you know, their trucks? They're not, I haven't seen really old trucks. I mean, yeah, they have automatics right now. Most of their fleet is automatic. What's wrong with that? When at the end of the day, I get it. People love to drive sticks, but if you're in the city, man, you probably love it. You know, it's a great, you know, great truck. If you really want a manual, then lease a truck and get a manual. Go owner operator, get your own manual. But this company's trying to save fuel. They're trying to, you know, more safe drivers, or, you know, increase their safe driving, which is pretty good. But automatics helps with that, you know. So once again, just some stuff to think about when you're out here looking. There's no right or wrong answer. You know, I really don't think there is. I just believe that, once again, think about it as what you're trying to do. If you're trying to get into trucking and like, man, I really want to just I want to retire. Like everybody talk about Walmart and all these other big companies, Coca-Cola, retirement companies. Like if I just want to be company and I want to make, I think Walmart starts you off at like $70,000, $80,000 as a truck driver, which is not that bad just for company. You know, I mean, I think that you can make more than that, but that's still not bad for company. Think about it, if you think about a situation where if I'm at Walmart and I'm interviewing truck drivers, you got one truck driver that I'm interviewing that's been with they have 5 years of experience. Now, Walmart, I think you have to have at least 2 to 3 years of experience. So they got one guy that has 5 years of experience, but in that 5 years, he has been to 4 different trucking companies. 4, maybe 3. Now, I got another person that's been driving only for 2 years, right there at the requirement. And this guy's been with one company for the whole entire time and has a great track record. Which one do you think they're going to pick? If you're trying to just stay company and trying to go to the right company, just trying to do that. Think about it, man. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm not saying that moving companies is a bad thing. All I'm saying is that if you're getting the same thing from the other company, and it really comes down to like your $100 or whatever, a couple cents or whatever it may be, are you really getting anything from it? I mean, if you're not getting miles, ask yourself why you're not getting miles. Don't be like, oh, let me go over here and try to figure it out. If you want more money, then just figure out a way to do it in a different way. Be like, man, you know what? I'm going to go from company. I'm going to do this, try this lease thing, see how that works out. Make more money that way. Then I'm going to go from lease. I'm probably going to see if how do I buy a truck? How do I become an owner operator? But that started excelling the way you think about as far as your advancement in trucking, and not just like, I promoted myself because I went from making 35 cents at Swift to I went over this company, now I'm making 41 cents. Is that really a promotion? Because you changed jobs, you make a couple cents more, but now you're a beginner. You're a beginner at that company. You think they're going to throw you the max miles over there when you was here for this long already? It's just stuff you got to think about like that. I mean, like I said, I could be wrong, guys. I'm just giving my opinion. Once again, I think Swift is a good company. If you want to come, why not? You know, try it out. They'll take care of you. They will help you out. And the more you give them, the more they will try their best to give you. They will have their flaws like any company will. But if you work through them, it'll pay off. And hopefully your goals, you know, exceed even further past that. So just think about it as what you want to do. So this is just your boy King of Hearts, man, coming at you with a little thought tonight on why I picked Swift. And you know, like I said, I'm running dedicated, you know, and it worked out for me, and I'm loving it. So remember, at the end of the day, love what you do and do what you love. You know, and never give up. Put in 100%, and it'll always work out for you. So once again, I'm gonna go ahead and get off here, go home, hang out with the family and kids, and do this again tomorrow. Have a good night. Hey, don't forget to subscribe. Or and like the channel. I mean, hit the likes down button. Give me in the comments that y'all have. If you feel different, let me know. If you agree, let me know. Talk to y'all later.